Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Anthony Galaviz. It's Wednesday. I hope everybody's having a great day or a great week so far. As you can tell, I am not in Henderson, Nevada. I'm in Fresno. Covered the Raiders back in 2016. Check that, 2015. All the way to now, I've been to games from 2015 to 2022. Yeah, 2022. Um, Last time in Vegas was in that year, 2022. So I'm still covering the Raiders, still talking about the Raiders. Know a lot of inside and outs of what's going on. So that's why I'm continuing to give you some Raiders coverage, different content than what you're seeing from others out there who are talking about, basically what we all talk about and how the Raiders are doing, how they're going to improve, or are they going to decline. There's a lot of issues going on as far as I believe. Starting at the offensive line, they didn't fare too well this past Sunday. The loss to the Chargers, where the Raiders should have won the game, should have, would have, could have, right? But that wasn't the case this time around. The losing streak continues at SoFi Stadium. Now it's on to Baltimore, who started the season against the Kansas City Chiefs, back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and now Ravens lost that game in a nail biter. Now they face the Raiders, who also lost. So both teams enter the game 0-1. The game will kick off at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 o'clock East Coast time. So it's gonna be quite interesting to see what happens. How the Raiders gonna how they're gonna rebound from that loss, and also the Ravens, if they're gonna be upset. They're upset with that loss to the Chiefs. So both teams come into the game 0-1. I think the Raiders. Well, first, before I start talking about the Raiders, what needs to be done. Antonio Pierce talked about today that Tyree Wilson, his injury is not looking too good. So that probably means one thing, that he's going to be out for a significant time, if not IR. So we'll see what happens on that. Unfortunate for Tyree Wilson. He generated pressure until that injury happened. So very unfortunate news for him. But the Raiders basically going to have to. They're going to be without Tyree Wilson. Malcolm Koonce is going to be out for another 3 games because Malcolm Koonce also has an injury. Not a long-term injury, just a 4-week thing. So he missed 1 game already. So now it's going to be his second game that he's going to miss this coming Sunday against the Ravens. So, that's part of the NFL business. Somebody's going to get injured, somebody's going to step up, but they're going to go sign somebody, as they did this past week. In fact, yesterday when they signed 2 players. So, that's basically what teams have to do: find somebody who's available, and that's what the Raiders did yesterday by signing Clavon Chaisson and quarterback Kai Blue Kelly to the practice squad. I could foresee Chaisson being moved up to the active roster pretty soon. So we'll see what happens on that one, that game against the Ravens. But do I see this game as a must-win? Not necessarily, because the Raiders do have a game coming up against the Panthers at home against Allegiant Stadium, followed up with the Cleveland Browns, who lost as well. So those are 2 winnable games. I'm not saying that the game against Baltimore is not winnable, but I just think that that's a tough one to come by and to get a win, especially when Baltimore is looking for a win too after losing at the winning seconds of that game in Kansas City. So Raiders could be looking at 0-2. I know some of you fans don't want to hear that, but realistically, the Raiders are an 8-point underdog going into the game against the Ravens. Got the highest total there among NFL games this coming Thursday and Sunday. Can the Raiders cover? Absolutely, I can see that happening. Raiders have some success in Baltimore. Also on the East Coast, I believe they're like winners 8 or 9, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I seen something like that floating around on the internet. It's hard to believe when Raiders in the past struggle on the East Coast. But going against Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, tough guy to stop. Derrick Henry, uh, tough to tackle. The Raiders have a lot on their hands this coming Sunday. Not many teams will go to the playoffs after starting the season 0-2. So, who knows? Maybe the Raiders will surprise many of you, including myself, coming out with a win. I just think they need to go in the game hungry. They got to be aggressive. They got to be go all out like they did in Kansas City. Because nobody gave them a chance in Kansas City last year on Christmas Day, and they pulled out a win. I think the Raiders need to, tackle. Yeah, because for the most part, the defense did well this past Sunday, but till the end where the long run happened and that just deflated the defense. But the Raiders' offensive line needs to step up big time because what happened this past Sunday cannot happen again this coming Sunday. So it's going to be a tough going, regardless for the Raiders. They need to have a better play. I'm guessing he needs to call better plays. But I really did like how he was calling the game this past Sunday. Everybody saw the Bears is transferring over to the Raiders, and I just think that he needs to be better at his play calling and be something original, not predictable. So this offense is capable of scoring 27 points, but they cannot do it if those type of plays are going to happen, especially the offensive line not protecting. Colton Miller just couldn't believe how he got pulled in, and I don't know, maybe something's nagging him. I don't know, but just think that Colton Miller needs to have a better game this coming Sunday, and not just him on the offensive line, but the rest of the guys on the offensive line. Protect Minshew. Thought Minshew did okay, but he could do better. That one play where he got tripped up by Bosa, I think that without the trip, get a first down, and the Raiders are in business. But that game's over with. They got this game against the Baltimore Ravens. Schedule makers looked at this and like, okay, we'll put the Raiders on the road for the first 2 games. We'll start the season 0-2. Really believe the Raiders should have won that game this past Sunday. And not to say they're going to go to the Baltimore throw it away if they're a 1-0. Can't do that in the NFL. But I think the Raiders need to have a sense of urgency. That's the word I'm looking for. Have a sense of urgency this Sunday and show that they want it, come out with a win and upset the Ravens. They're more capable of doing that. Any team could beat any team in the NFL. It's proven before, can prove it again. So I really believe they need to have a sense of urgency. Come out blazing trail, and just come out and just fire away and let it all loose. I think the running game needs to be a lot better. Alexander Mattison was doing pretty good. Zamir White, he had a tough time. I'd like to see more Mattison this time around. I'd like to see Dylan Lobby active for this game. I think that they needed Dylan this past Sunday, and he was inactive for whatever reason. And I just think if you have Dylan in there, it could open up a lot of plays for the Raiders because that guy does remind me of Austin Eckler, and I like to see him in an NFL game and showcase his skills, and hopefully, Antonio Pierce, Antonio Pierce activate Dylan for this game this coming Sunday because I want to see what he can do, and I'm sure most of you guys want to see what he can do as well. So we'll see. But for the most part, the injury report came out today. Nothing serious. If I could take a look at it real quick, I did see Lamar Jackson is going to be okay. So as far as the Raiders go, Raiders practice today. So click on the injury report because I glanced at it pretty quick. I even posted it on my Twitter page. But anybody that did not participate was the Camarian Richardson. I'm having trouble with his first name. And Tyree Wilson obviously did not practice today as well. Limited participants was Jackson Powers Johnson, Colton Miller, and Andre James, where I think all three, including Jackson Powers Johnson, will be active this coming Sunday, much to the delight of Raider fans who want to see Jackson Powers Johnson play. So I really believe he'll be active for this game this coming Sunday. Full participants: Tommy Eichenberg, Divine Diablo, and Brock Bowers. So Baltimore Ravens, Kyle Van Noy, he did not participate because of eye injury. He blasted the Chiefs medical staff over that. Raquan Smith, linebacker, stud, limited participant because of a shoulder injury. And those are the two big names for the Ravens that did not participate or was limited participant. So more updates tomorrow. Again, okay, so my name is Anthony Galaviz, so I'll just keep it, cut it down. Just want to give you my spiel, what I believe, what the Raiders need to have this coming Sunday, to have that sense of urgency, bottom line, because this past Sunday was just pitiful. And I use another word for that. I should have used pitiful instead of, I forgot what word I said, but it just came out that day, and it's all on YouTube, so you can take a look at it. Again, my name is Anthony Galaviz. Hit the like and subscribe button, and that'd be greatly appreciated. It was tough sledding on my end, trying to get the subscribers up. Help me out, get me up, get the engagement up, because I want to keep this thing going. So, all right, guys, have a good one.